there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. We are going to do things a little bit differently today than we usually do when it comes to the quote-unquote making maps stuff that we do. We ran a Kickstarter back in November, and while we've shown off a little bit of the stuff here and there, we didn't really get to spend a lot of time in the maps that we developed alongside our partners for that project and for the things that have come after that. So we're going to take a little bit of time today, make it a quick one, very likely, and just show off some of the stuff that we ended up putting together for that Kickstarter project. So we're starting off with Nightly Lore Maiden's work. I think we've already looked at one or two of her maps, but this is another couple that she did for us. We wanted like a magic shop, and she developed it in like a city square, or like a city block or something like that. So she has a couple of other things alongside it, but you can see the main point of interest in this map. We're looking at the low res version, but there's some magical plants outside. You can see like there's colored trees and everything close to the shop, but on the other side you've got like these regular looking trees that are kind of hanging around. We've done magic shops and stuff like that before, but she did like a nice like quaint little artifact shop basically. So you've got a lot of potions, a lot of like artifacts, antiquities, and things like that. Just to the side over here you've got like a little mini bazaar, so a little marketplace that sprung up, and over here you've got a tavern. So there's a decent amount of things that are happening on this map. Next up, she gave us this is a sequel to her abandoned house map. You actually just saw like a brief glimpse of another one that we did, but that was one that my brother did. That is an alternate to this map. It's what happens if you go north from here, or from the map south of here. You can do a couple of different things. This was Nightly Lore Maiden's attempt. Here, we'll switch over to there real quick. And this was Matt's attempt. So both different takes on it. Some similarities, obviously, but different takes on it for sure. So for Nightly Lore Maiden, what she ended up doing was, making some more abandoned stuff up here, whereas Matt had a neighbor that probably didn't abandon stuff based on the fact that, there wasn't a lot of damage to, the area around or anything like that. We kind of we're always looking for multiple points of interest. So we've got our poor dead horsey over here, some other dead creatures, with a cat lording over everything, a well with a lot of spider webs going on, and then scarecrows that have been around so long that they don't care, or crows that have been around so long that they don't care about scarecrows or anything like that anymore. You can also see the farmer's hat over here. You don't really know if this horse is just mournfully looking at that hat or if that poor horse is gone too, but we've got, this is a big one that we're going to be looking at. This is the Vampire Manor. This is actually 8 maps. We're only going to look at 4 of them real quick. So Becca gave us the hedge maze out back of this house. We're going to look at everything north to south. And the whole concept of this map, at least in my imagination, is the purveyor of the house, the manor, had a loved one that passed away, and their statue is still in the hedge maze. So you might be able to get a little bit of lore by going into the hedge maze. And then one map south of there, you've got the north first floor. We're not going to go into the basement, either of the second floor maps or the attic, but this is a real quick look. For variants, we made different kind of interpretations of what this house would look like. So we had stuff without the cobwebs. All the furniture was in good shape. All the textiles were in good shape as well. Oh, I did do the second floor. You're not getting the first floor south. This is what the second floor of the mansion looks like. So you can see it just kind of overlays into the shape. All the external stuff still looks the same. It's just the rooms themselves have been kind of tweaked. And then we've got the courtyard. So this is the furthest south. This is how most adventurers would end up showing up to this this mansion that's out in the woods or out in the countryside somewhere. Let's close out of these guys real quick. And again, this was Matt's interpretation of the Abandoned House North, so it's definitely a little bit different. There's some features that kind of tie things all together because you do have, you know, some of these smaller cracks here and there. Matt's whole concept was he wanted to do kind of like a druid-esque character who's got kind of like a garden that he's cultivating in the back, things like that. Let's see what else we've got. The whole point of this is to do quite a few of these and then to end with maybe doing a little bit of a variant tweak on one of our partners' maps. So this is a sequel to Matt's River Rapids map. So this is one north of the map that we already have. It's very popular when we go to live events and things like that. So Matt has been like integrating certain like tribal features in some of his maps recently, and whenever we're doing our variants these days, we're getting rid of most everything that's like man-made in our unfinished versions, but we also have things that are tweaked where they just get rid of like certain influences that might not work for everybody's maps. So, you know, certainly this is the main version, but we'll lose things like that pillar in other variants of the map. Okay, we got another sequel. Matt's been doing a lot of good sequels for me lately. So we had a map that Matt did that was one east of here. This is just a pretty simple map. There's nothing too crazy or anything. Little campsite. We've got a broken cart, some horses that have not made it out okay, and then there's one other point of interest, and I've lost it. I don't know where it was. Sometimes when my partners are doing maps and I don't have like a point of interest that I need, I'll just manufacture one and we'll call it like an extra point of interest map. I think for Matt's case, that's not actually what was going on. I'll peel back the curtain a little bit more too, and we'll see. So we've got the campsite, the broken wagon. Oh, okay. So I think I added these myself, these big cat tracks. Matt might have done it, but I don't remember him doing it. So the whole idea was something's killing, you know, these horses, and you know, some mountain lion or something was the reason for it. Okay, we've got the Rocky Beach. This one was an all-new one that Matt made for us. If I can get the darn thing to load. Come on, I believe in you. There we go. Again, pretty simple from a basic perspective, but we threw a lot of variants together. There's one with like a giant mud crab that's hanging out. Shipwreck pieces in some cases. But we've got little things that are hidden beneath the trees in a few places. Little washed up bottle on the shore. And coral reefs and some rocks and stuff like that. We've got anchor that fell off a ship and is just kind of hanging out in the water. So all kinds of like little lore pieces that you could get. And I should mention all of these are currently available on Patreon, and most, if not all, the ones that I am going to show you are going to be on DriveThruRPG by the end of this week. This was the last Kickstarter bonus one that Matt gave us. So Matt had a map called Bayou that was one south of here. So this is his kind of like fighting pit for it. A little bit more like orc themed, stuff like that. So we've got a like an altar over here that's kind of constructed into the place. Kind of like a lot of corpses and spider webs and everything. A very moody looking map. Towers that make sure that you know, if somebody is going to try and escape from here, they're not going to find it easy. There's also these little crevices in the pit where if you're really unlucky, you could find yourself falling into those, or, you know, twisting an ankle or something like that. Would not be good. All right, so we are into the point where we're looking at a lot of the stuff that I've done, and I've already shown my stuff. So let's go to some of the festival maps. So we had these maps that pretty much each of us went and did for one of Incarnate's contests. And the theme of the contest was festivals and celebrations and stuff like that. So Matt was inspired by when the opening of Fellowship of the Ring, starts up. We've got the firework display, and Merry and Pippin take the one firework that makes it look like a dragon. So that was kind of where Matt's mind went with these kind of things. This is a 2-part map. In fact, for all of us, me, Matt, Becca, and Kev, each one of us did like a 2-part map. Well, I did a 9-part map, but that's neither here nor there. So if you look here, this is the south version of the map. Very similar structure, color patterns, that kind of stuff. You can see the river kind of ends up coming down here. Let's go over to, I think Becca's is the second set. She's got the Pirate Festival. So she's got a pretty busy map. Pirates all coming together to make trades and tell stories and stuff like that. Let's go to her south map. So you can see they connect pretty closely. Nothing too crazy going on. And again, like always, we try and tell a little mini story with our POIs. So we did put together 2 documents for these maps, one for north and one for south, that kind of goes into a little bit of like a way you could tell a story as a game master with these in mind. So I don't think that we've posted Kev's yet. Let's go to the Starlight Festival. No, I don't even have them downloaded yet. We'll show them off later. I don't think that I have the Ancestor Festival either. No, that's mine. That's a 3x3. That's the biggest map set that we have so far. Let's see. We've got the Statue Garden, which you've all seen. I think we haven't shown off the Forest Executioner's stand. So I'm very pleased to announce that we have another new partner that we're working with. Nerdy Maps, aka Arturo, who we picked up maybe over the last month or so, and he's been doing a really good job. His stuff feels very in line with what we've done already. Let's see, we kind of tweaked the way this looked, because I think we didn't have the night version, but he had like the fire going anyway. Or maybe we tweaked things afterwards. Anyway, this was more in line with what he had. The only thing that I think we changed was the bonfire instead of it already being burning. It didn't make a lot of sense for me to have the stuff burning in the middle of the day, so we kind of did a night version and had it lit up at night as well. He is, pretty prolific. I think maybe we get like a new map from him every 2 or 3 weeks if we're ready for it. And if we have time, we're going to look at one of his new maps today and do a little bit of like variant, changes to that real quick. Just a really quick and no, never mind. I don't even have it. I have not downloaded it yet. We've got a quick and dirty one from Becca, and that will be coming soon, but I need to tweak a little bit of it before it's ready, I think. We're back to one of Matt's maps. So this is his mining town. So this is the north. We've got, just kind of like little campsites set up. And I added a couple of points of interest here and there, like under the trees, so that they weren't right in everybody's face. But if you did a little bit of searching as like a player, not necessarily as an in-game character, but you might see things and you have to figure out a way to get your characters to not meta find their way to those things. And here is the last one I think that we'll show today, and then we'll go into one of the maps. But so this is the south part of Matt's mining town. pretty simple. We've got some little storage area, and then like a blacksmith, and then a place for loading and unloading equipment. You can tell over here there's been some damage to the tracks, whether that was intentional or not. That's up to the game master to determine. And then for whatever reason, we have this little bridge over here to go over top of wherever the mine carts are. Maybe there's like another kind of like loading idea to bring stuff up, because you could just walk around here. I'm sure Matt has a good idea for why you wanted this, but I don't know. So let's go over to, we're going to head over to the QQ preview, because we're going to start again on that soon. And when we come back, I'll have the map that we're going to be working on tonight loaded up, and we'll kind of tweak that. So let's move over there and we'll come right back. Now that our Twitch channel has reached affiliate status, we can start to do some really cool things. One of them is inviting you to play our tabletop dungeon diving game, Quantum Quest. Using our channel points, called Quest Coins, you can queue up for one of our forthcoming Tabletop Thursday games. In addition, as we amass more followers, we'll continue to add new ways for you to use your Quest Coins. Join us and see if you can escape the living dungeon. Alright, so we are back. I'm going to get a little drink of water real quick because my voice sounds a little scratchy. It's the one good thing about Rihanna leaving water everywhere. What do you mean? So this is the underground altar. We've had like altars and stuff before, but like I didn't feel like we've ever had anything that was specifically made for like a dungeony kind of feel. And we ended up asking Arturo to do something that we could use here. So he did kind of like this sacrificial altar over here. You can see there's like body parts and stuff like that. And then whatever like summoning circle pentagram looking thing over here. One of the things that we always have to tell the artists that we work with is we need to like adjust the size of things, especially like if you are not familiar with like the structure of like a map in like the Western Hemisphere or anything like that. If you're using freedom units for your measurements, you have to make sure that you're taking the perspective of it as like a 5-foot square. I'm certain that in other countries, when you're playing D&D, it's not a 5-foot square or something like that. But what you'll notice is like these corpses, they are very, very close to 15 feet. So we tweaked certain things in here already. Like this corpse over here was much bigger as well. This brazier was much bigger. There's certain things that like you can get away with, like not having to make smaller or anything like that. Like these statues, they don't need to be adjusted. A ladder, maybe you can get away with having it whatever size. And I figured for like the base map, what you could kind of get away with saying is that this was like a giant that was being sacrificed, and like all these ones were as well. And what we're going to do for this map right now is we're going to make a clone real quick, and we're just going to call it resized. Wait for it to load, and then the only thing that we're going to do is try and snag any of our other stuff that's too big, resize it. Because if you didn't want to tell a story where it's a giant or anything like that, now you have the opportunity to tweak that a different way. So let's grab our giant. That's still blood. There we go. There's our giant. So what we're looking for now is to keep him a little bit closer to like 5.5 to 6 feet. So if we were at about this size, that's about 5 feet. So let's make him a little bit bigger. We can even go a little bit higher. And the one bad thing is that he's amidst all this. He's right in the middle of the grid lines. So we're going to change the way that he's facing. Now this bunny is way too big comparatively, so we're going to change that somewhat as well. Still like a hair instead. This cow skull, probably a little bit too big as well. We've got these vials, these pitchers of blood and stuff like that. This wine carafe. Smush that down a little bit. Let's see, we've got this kind of big candle set. Alright, we've got a lot right now. I think I actually let go of everything. Nope, I didn't. Whew. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm moving everything by accident. Don't mind me. We're deselecting everything, and whew, there's a lot going on. I just have... I got too much. I feel like there's just no easy way to grab the things that I need. We're going to try our darndest. Let's see. Let's go and we can keep the lights. I feel like that's a lot of what we're looking at is lights and stuff. We don't need the cliffs. Take those out. Alright, we do want the sacrifice bowl. And he does a lot with like shading as well. Pocket cliff. Ah, so that's what all these little guys are. I wonder if that's from the sci-fi set. I feel like the tendrils definitely are. Alright. I'm going to try and do this a different way. We've got both of these little sacrifice bowls, and again, as I mentioned, the reason that we have two of them is because he uses one as a shadow. So let's grab both of them at the same time so that we're not losing them. And they're both hanging out in the same area now. Maybe a little bit more. You can see the blood is supposed to be coming off of this cliff, so it's supposed to be dripping in there, so we don't want to lose that entirely. Let's change this sacrifice bowl as well. We've got the candles that we're also going to have to tweak a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, that's a candle. Perfect. This cage, these skeletons, they can get trimmed down a little bit. So our magic number is a little bit closer to like 30. Let's see what we got for our desiccated corpse over here. Well, that's wrong. Desiccated body. So this is about 36. So if we come up here, change this one to about 36. Scooch them back a little bit. This one about double the size that we want, but you know, I will keep it a little bigger. We've got this gargoyle thing up here, these other skulls. That's already properly sized, so we don't really need to do too many crazy things there. I don't want to change the skulls too much. Let's see, this scroll over here, we can close up a smidge. What even is this one? I don't know. Eastern scroll case. Yeah, that doesn't need to be that big. Again, 36 is a nice middle of the road kind of situation. Scooch that over there. It's an unlit torch. These rocks are fine. The skull rope things are fine. maybe trim the pickaxe down a little bit, the hammer down a little bit, and while we're here, the survival backpack and the bottle can change a lot. And you have to be a little bit more cognizant about where you're putting things because the grid lines are going to make a little bit of a mess here and there. These things, they don't need to change too much. Let's change this bone chair. Oh. It's another one of those shading things. Change that to about 40. Scooch it in a little bit closer. We've got this guy, which I think is like a plague doctor mask. Yep. So way too big at that point. The mask itself was about 5 feet from beak to the back of the skull. 36 again, pretty good size. Magic potion, maybe we'll keep that a little bit bigger. Alright, so these corpses down here, body bags, they need to be shrunk down considerably. It's still pretty big, it's still a 7-foot body, but it does what we need it to. And we got this spider victim, which is way big. Kind of hugging that. And another spider victim over here. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like this stuff still. Okay, gargoyles. Everything else looks, we'll take the dolly. Shrink her down a little bit too. Crystal can keep the size that it is. As a brain. Again, losing a little bit of the size there. Or we're losing it behind the grid lines, and we're trying to tweak that. This guy there we can keep. That's fine. I feel like I did these pieces already. Statues are okay. And I think I changed those as well. This is like an ink and quill. Alright, so that is going to be it for this version of the variant. So let's take that out, and then what we'll do is we'll do an unfurnished version of this map. I think at that point we'll be pretty close to being done. I might do 1 or 2 more variants off stream to get this ready for us, but let's do save as clone, and we're going to do this one as unfurnished, and we'll likely have tweaks to the way this is going to look. We'll have an unfurnished version that is any kind of man-made or like humanoid influence stuff we'll take out. So for instance, we'll get rid of, I kind of like going through and like where's Waldoing it when I'm doing this, and then if I get really bothered, I will I'll go through over here and I'll look for what we're taking out. So we do have one of the things that Artura does, which is perfectly fine. We've got he will do like manual shading too, and I think it ends up making the end product look very nice. I just need to remember when I'm doing the tweaks that I have to do to go through and like blur these things, blend them a little bit better. So I'll even do a little bit of it here, and that way the color kind of blends a little nicer. So again, since we're doing unfurnished, we're going to take away yep, you can see there's 2 there because I got rid of the shading. Okay, and then we don't need that over here. So a little bit lighter so that the shadow that was going on there before isn't crazy. I think we might have a little bit of shadow here from the rock that's... We can take some of that away. I don't know if I wanted to take all of it away. Okay, we've got those pieces. Any kind of plant life we'll leave in there. Take apart the rickety bridge stuff. Now there's one thing that you might not have noticed as I was moving around, and that is we got a Titan hand down here. So it's humanoid, it's just a giant humanoid, so we might need to see. That's just part of the background. He did a flattened to background. So let's see if we can take that out. I really like it. It's just, it has no place here. For the unfurnished version, that is. Not everybody's going to want a giant Titan hand reaching out. And what I tend to do also when it comes to unfurnished is like any like animal kind of addition to the map. So we'll take the skulls out, we'll take any statues out, any skeletons, any things like that. So blood we'll take out. Candles, things like that. One of the things, because I know there's going to be plenty of candles, what I'll do is just select all stamps from this set, delete, they all go away. Lit candles here, take them out as well. We've got the sacrifice bowl, that's just the shadow version. That's a light. Actually, the next time we get a light, we'll do the thing. All stamps from this set, get rid of it. There we go. The mood completely changes without the light. So we're going to get rid of some more stuff. A couple of spots of blood. The blood crystals we're going to take out because it's, you know, more likely that they were put there by a humanoid. Get rid of the little phalite sparkles. We're going to leave this stuff here, and then we'll do another version without the root structure and stuff like that. Get rid of that. Get rid of the chair. Get rid of the book and the notes and the knife and the heart and the skull. And we don't need that blood or that blood or that blood or that blood or the skull. Sacrificial bowl stuff can go. This table here is going to go. The bodies are going to go. The statue is going to go. Doink, doink, doink. Let's grab every one of these. Might as well get rid of all the blood. Alright, and then let's see what we got. We got one more big statue over here. Big statue over here. This whole table's gotta go. And we gotta put that back in there. Can't tell if... Yep. Just a Nordic table drawn in, and then of course I screwed things up by doing my painting. Let's do another little... Oh, and we need it to be on the background layer. Let's bump up the opacity a smidge. Painting that in a little nicer. Okay, these tools up here gotta go. gotta go. Let's see. All right, things are looking pretty good. Let me tweak some of these shadowy spots while we're here. Should really be using the pen, but that's okay. You know what I'm noticing? It's most likely on the top layer. Here we've got a little bit more that we can kind of address. Smidge here and there. Okay, so let's do one more save, and let's while that's saving, we'll close out the show. So folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start. It'll bring you to all of our other projects. We've got a couple of places that you can find our Battlemaps out on the internet. Patreon.com/Tellest is your best one-stop shop for all of our digital maps. You can get everything you want for a very low price, and we try and get up at least 8 maps a month. We're starting to do a little bit more of that, and we also recently introduced commercial licensing opportunities through the Patreon. You can only do those through Patreon. So like even if you bought our maps on Drive-Thru-RPG or anything like that, you still need an active Patreon, month to month with us in order to use those commercial rights. Battlemapfantasy.com will bring you to the Drive-Thru-RPG page where you can get a la carte stuff. That's great for if you have an adventure that you're doing for like a homebrew campaign or things like that. And Tellest.etsy.com is where you can go to see physical versions of our maps. They're back ordered right now, but we're hoping that that comes back soon. We've also got 2 TikTok channels that you can check out, at Weird Witch Wands and at Tales of Tellest. Those are going to see a lot of attention over the next couple of weeks and months, so definitely check them both out. And then we've got 2 video channels. Obviously, you're watching us now very likely on YouTube at World of Tellest, but if you do want to check us out live, twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the only place to do that live. Chat with us, get your channel points up. We showed the preview for the upcoming stuff for Quantum Quest. So that's a great way to build up that collection of points. My voice is really starting to go. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. We will be back tomorrow. We'll most likely be finishing up another one of our maps. But until next time, we'll miss you.